an instant Browns classic.
Hey, whatever it is, hey, that's what this game's about. Let's go!
The Cleveland Browns are America's team.
And it's all over! The Browns are winners today!
Good Sunday evening to you all out there, starting a little bit early. Suck it, MC. Welcome into another episode of the Barking Brown Show. I'm Jacob, that's Casey Kidman, Mr. Nick Carnes down below. Brought to you as always by our friends over at SeatGeek. If you want to go check out a concert, Browns preseason game. Well, I guess their only preseason game in Cleveland's it's this month. It's this month.
It is.
That's factual.
So you could go get some tickets over there. Use our promo code Barking Browns, all one word. Get $20 off that purchase. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, gentlemen. How are we?
Struggle busting it, boys. Your boy can't throw down like he used to. Been crushed all day from my activities last night that I don't even remember ending. I woke up in a bed and then, and I'm just piecing it all together, drinking a ton of water.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm like slowly completing the whole, obviously I moved, you guys have known that, but I finally officially changed my address. I went to the BMV thing and changed all my registration and all that. It's just a whole thing. Don't move. Moving is annoying and awful and that whole thing. But I'm just going to stay here forever, I think. And so that's pretty fun. And just getting ready for football, man. 5 days. 5 days.
That's what I always think is like every time I move, I'm like, this is it. Because it's such a miserable process that every time I'm just like, this is it. Dying in this place. Like, I might change the way it looks, build onto it, whatever, but I'm dying here. It's like, oh, it's okay. So we Browns were off today. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting week. First padded practices this week, and for the first time under Kevin Stefanski, they tackled to the ground. Full blown tackle to the ground. Am I echoing?
Not to me.
I hear myself and you, so I tried to turn myself down. So hopefully.
Maybe it was me. Let me turn myself down. Okay. All right. That sounds better. I think. If anybody listening can hear the echo and it's really bad, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to power through it. So anyway, for the first time under Kevin Stefanski, they tackled to the ground, which is a different level of physicality and intent. It's fine out here. Okay. It's a different level of physicality and intensity, which is kind of what the team has been telling us, but until we actually saw it in a really tangible way, which tackling to the ground is a very tangible change in physicality. There were some hits. There was a kind of a weird welcome to the NFL moment from Carson Schlesinger because he is also a rookie, but he laid one on Dylan Sampson, and Sampson was fine, afterwards, but you could tell he was like, "Oh, okay, this is what we're doing today. This is where we're at right now." And I heard Jake Burns at Browns Film Breakdown talked about it, and a lot of other people that were up there talked about it, that it's different from that standpoint. Now, whether that translates to wins or not, I don't know. But what I can say is they are doing things differently. They have talked about doing things differently. They've talked, we've talked about it. We begged for it. We're like, hey, don't do the same thing, because if you keep doing the same thing, you might get the same results. And they're not doing that. So far, so good from that standpoint. But yeah, I think that's worth noting and worth talking about.
3-14. You know what I mean? You got to shake it up. You got to change some approaches, and we saw them superstition and just sports in general. You can always get like latched on to whatever you did. However you put your socks on before the game, if you play well, you're going to do that same thing next week. Well, you saw it when they went to the Greenbrier and had success that year. They went right back to the Greenbrier the next year. You know what I mean? Like, So you get in this. So to have to break everything, but all right, we got to approach this thing differently, and hopefully we see a tangible difference on the field because of the physicality that they're approaching camp with, because we won't get to see the joint practices. I expect that to carry over into those. Now, a lot of the starters that we're probably not going to see them in the preseason.
Right.
They'll be on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like, more than likely. So the fact that they're ramping it up in practice, I think, should lend itself like earlier in the season, so they don't have to. There's not an acclimation period for those guys who don't play in preseason games and you're not really doing it in practice. So that when you guys, when they play the Bengals, September 7th, it's coming up, boys. We're getting close. They'll already, they'll hit the ground running.
I still, it still sticks in my craw the way they started against Dallas last year. And that game was over at halftime. That game might have been over in the second quarter, and it was just such a poor showing to start the year, especially at home. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing something different. Like you can't just do the same thing. Like Casey said, they were 3-14. And so you can't do these things just the same. And so I am glad to hear they're doing things differently. And I did want, I'm glad we brought this up because I did want to confirm that the three of us here, plus Mr. Andy Manchin, will be in Cleveland for week 3, wearing all brown with the debut of the brown helmet against the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
Yeah, and we may or may not get into a day full of shenanigans.
Maybe.
The Saturday
I
before.
put the money on the over.
On the over. Bet the over on shenanigans.
Yeah, for sure. Hammer the over.
There was a kind of a Casey, I think, both of you kind of highlighted it, talking about like coming out and starting flat in the season and that being the first, that would be fun. The first moment, I guess, that they get really super physical and go to the ground being in the first game is a little, I don't know, interesting, I guess. But Mahmoud Diabate talked this week. I wrote up a little bit about it. He talked, Thursday or Friday? Before practice, they talked to him. And he really talked about how jacked up the linebackers were to have that physicality. Like that position group specifically being like, hey, being able to introduce this physicality, like that's the intensity and that stuff. Like that's what we're all about in this position group. Like that's what this defense is all about, aggressiveness, physicality, things of that nature. So he, it's not lost on the players that this difference, at least in their minds right now, will make a difference. Like this change will make a difference, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so I just thought that's where I wanted to start the show, was kind of highlighting that, because I think the three of us universally agreed that, maybe some things were working, but there was changes they needed to make this offseason because of how pathetic 2024 was overall, that it was like you can't keep ramming your head into the wall the same way and think it's not going to be shitty again. You got to do some changes, and they've done that on at least the most that they can do to where we are in the calendar year, I guess, because you're so limited on what you can and can't do practice-wise. But the most that they could do right now, they've done. So that's progress to me. So that's something that I think really matters. Let's see. Where do we go now? Let me think. What's next? I that's where I wanted to start the show.
I think some of the interesting points of camp outside of the quarterback have been the wide receiver room. We were talking about that a little pre-show, and there's a few guys that have impressed for me, because I know where Jacob's going to go, I know where Casey's going to go. So for me, I just want to start with Diontae Johnson, looking like making some catches out there, looking like he's engaged, looking like he might care, might want to salvage a career, and to me that's best case scenario, man, because when you sign Diontae Johnson for what they're paying him, which I believe is the veteran minimum, it's all upside. There's no downside. I understand the baggage that he comes with, but if you suddenly have a room of Judy and Johnson as your wide receiver 1 and 2, that's a great place to start from. A hell of a better place to start from than we thought before that signing. So still a lot of risk. Still could blow up in their faces. Totally acknowledge that. But there's a lot to like about what we're seeing from Diontae Johnson right now.
Still has a lot of juice. His twitch. You see when he's got the ball in his hands, he's getting people turned around. You know what I mean? It's hard taking angles on that guy. He just creates separation. I'm still treating him like a lottery ticket that I haven't scratched off yet. Could be a winner. Could be we don't get nothing. But I get what people are being optimistic just based on his physical abilities that you're seeing in camp right now. You just got to hope that the engagement stays throughout, and he, because the thing that sounded like there were disconnects when he got to Baltimore, where that he didn't feel like he was being used the right way, so he just mentally disconnected. I don't know what his expectations are for playing time and snap counts, and you know what I mean. So hopefully, whatever it is enough to keep him dialed in, because that room, there's the players that I'm seeing they're kind of showing flashes. Jacob's going to talk about one here in a second. They're borderline roster players to me. They could make the 53. They could be practice squad guys who get called. You know what I mean? They're in that little bubble. If Johnson is Johnson from 3 years ago, that is a roster cornerstone type guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can he get to that level, and will it work in this offense? So I'm super cautiously optimistic.
I said that the changes that they could implement, like things are going the way you want to see to where they can do in terms of where they are in the calendar. I think it's the same with Diontae Johnson. Like, to where what has happened so far has been good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not to the games yet. We're not to any of the stuff where he melted down last year. But it's trended in the right direction. It hasn't trended in the bad direction. There hasn't been any distractions or issues caused by him yet. So to where it can be so far on August 3rd is good. I mean, it seems like it wasn't lost on him that only one team was interested. And if that results in a motivated, hardworking guy, awesome. Like, awesome. But I'm with you too. Cautiously optimistic is the word that I have used the whole time, where I'm like, this guy can still play. But I'm not going to get worked up and excited about it, because I'm not going to get disappointed if it blows up. So like, I'm not going to go all the way there yet, but like, has he shown exactly what I thought, that he could still play at just 29 years old? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We've been hurt before. You know what I mean? So we got to guard that. We've seen quite a few wide receivers come in that had names attached to them, and they had produced wherever they were, and we've seen what's happened. So it's probably a little PTSD from Dwayne Bowe or Kenny Britt or.
I was gonna say Kenny Britt, because Kenny Britt also ruined Corey Coleman. So like, Kenny Britt was a twofer. Like, he did it twice.
He took someone with him.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I loved Corey Coleman as the pick too. I was like, Corey Coleman. I was super stoked.
You were excited about Coleman. I remember that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just had a dream about Kenny Britt. I don't know why. I had a dream about Kenny Britt, and I woke up disappointed, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm a dreamer to where, like, if you say something that is tied to that dream, I'll remember it, but otherwise I wouldn't remember it. And so when you brought up Kenny Britt, I remembered that. I don't know why. I don't know why he's in my subconscious, but there it is.
That was a scoregami of a sentence. I had a dream about Kenny Britt. No one's ever said that before.
No one's ever said that before.
I'll never forget. He caught 3 touchdowns as a Titan in a game, I think twice. Mm-hmm. He was dynamic as a Titan.
He was good. He was good until he got here. Yeah. No, it was a great signing.
Yeah. And then
it was one of those signings that there was no reason to hate the signing when it happened. The product didn't work out.
Right.
But like, I remember that signing and being like, yeah, Kenny Britt, great. You've upgraded your wide receiver core. That's exactly what you needed to do. Great. And then you drafted Corey Coleman, and I was like, let's fucking go. Like, here
Right.
we
Yeah.
you just Casey, you want to go with a guy that stood out for you, or you want me to go?
Are you good?
It doesn't have to be a wide receiver. It can be whoever you want.
I mean, it's Carson Schlesinger. It's like we got to come up with a nickname for him at some point. Like, but I just he's going to be a massive fan favorite, man. That kid's going to be all over the field. I feel like he's going to lead the team in tackles as a rookie. Like I think that's the trajectory he's on. And like the day they put pads on, he actually had to speak to the media that day. He was pumped. Like he was. He's like, if you can't get excited as a linebacker to hit people, like this is the gig. He was. And the fact that they're putting everything on his plate, which is what I think should happen here. You should. What can you handle? And he's swimming with it. Green dot already. Like it's very impressive, man. For a one, mind you, only a 1 year starter in college. You know what I mean? To just level up as soon as he came up. Like I'm excited. He's flying around. He's hitting people. I think he's going to be a monster on special teams too. I think he's just going to be someone that he's going to be all over your TV screens. I don't know if he stays. I know he was 49 in college, but when you see him pick out their numbers when they first came, like it was videotaped. I feel like he didn't want 49 again, but it was open because who takes that number? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'd be interested to see if he switches after cutdowns. There's
a certain mentality of person that they go to whatever team they go, and they're just like, I don't care. I don't care what the situation is. I'm just going to play my ass off and do what I need to do. And Carson Schlesinger radiates that. Mm-hmm. That's the right personality you need in that room and from that guy, especially with JOK, his situation being very unknown. It was like last year on this show, we were talking about JOK being the green dot, JOK being the center of the defense, the leader of the defense. And so I don't know what's going to happen there. And Carson has a lot to prove, but they're putting a lot on him. And it looks like he's handling it well. Very encouraged. Very encouraged.
He looks the part.
I can't even fathom who's the last linebacker named just for the Browns. What's the last rookie linebacker to come in the league and get a green dot? Kuechly?
I would assume not many.
That doesn't happen. And for Jim Schwartz to trust him to wear the green dot, that says a lot to me.
Yeah, he certainly looks the part physically and sounds the part when you hear him talk. Like he's definitely a very intelligent player, very much understands his responsibilities. I think he's a good. One thing that I think is very interesting about the green dot so early is just, I mean, I guess we can't necessarily know it for sure, is you're not seeing a lot of issues with people not knowing the plays and where to line up.
Yeah.
Like that's getting communicated. So his ability to communicate and get play calls out and things of that nature seem to have been going pretty well. There's been some blown coverages here and there, but I can't remember for sure exactly who it is. I know Casey still hasn't signed up for this fantasy league, but there's a few more spots for the charity fundraiser fantasy league. So as people accept the invites and get in there, it's first come, first serve. So we've got.
What platform will that be on?
That is on Sleeper. I sent you the link.
Yeah, I was busy last night.
So
are we going to do like a long form draft? Like it's the draft room's open and you draft where you draft, or is it a scheduled time? And
we'll do a scheduled time. It'll be a snake draft. We'll do a scheduled time if we can do it. If not, I'll just put it on like an 8-hour timer, and then everybody has at least 8 hours, and it'll pause from 10 p.m. to like 8 a.m. Connie's already in there. Just so we're clear, she's already in there. Nick's already in there.
I am.
But yeah, no, we'll probably do it. Well, I'll probably do an 8-hour thing.
Okay.
As soon as we get to 12, as soon as we get all 12 teams in there, and then we'll pony up the dough, and then we'll go from there. So for me to start, I like both of those answers. Let's be clear; those are both great answers. Gage Lavardin the wide receiver. And that's what I've looked this up. I've listened to different people talk about it. I just wanted to make sure. Larvadan is how you say it.
Kind of sounds like a Pokemon, honestly.
Yeah.
Larvadan. Like Larvitar?
Mitch
Larvadan.
Larvadan. Yeah. He rookie from undrafted free agent from South Carolina. There you go. All right. Didn't really do much last year when he was with South Carolina. Only 19 receptions, a couple hundred yards. Starts his career in an FCS school. Starts at Southeastern Louisiana. Has a couple, 500-600 yard seasons. Transfers over to Miami, Ohio to play in the MAC. I thought that was his best season. Had around almost 700 yards. His second game with them was a 273-yard, 3-touchdown performance, including a 99-yard touchdown where he just ran away from guys. He's an outlier. He's 5'8", 172-ish pounds. So I get it. If he is successful long-term as a wide receiver, he will be an outlier. I understand that. This dude is fast. He's agile, really nice athlete. He's such a natural separator. And he's a returner. Not a ton of return experience, but he's a returner. And so, people are talking about DeAndre Carter making the roster because he's a return specialist. My thing is, I think Larvadan has more upside as a receiver because DeAndre Carter hasn't done anything really as a wide receiver. I'd rather keep him because I think he can be a nice slot weapon. And it feels like every single time there is a explosive, not every single time, almost every single time there's an explosive play in camp through the passing game, he seems to be the one on the receiving end. Luke Flores had some moments too. Don't get me wrong, Diontae Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, but you'll be like, man, look at that throw from Flacco. That one he threw on Friday in a bucket in the corner end zone.
Back pylon.
Or no, it was yesterday. Sorry, it was Saturday. And LeVarden does such a great Larvadan. Damn it, I got it. Larvadan. Come on. Larvadan does such a great job tracking that deep ball, which when he's got 4.45 speed, and when you've got that speed, you've got to be able to track that ball, and he does a great job tracking and adjusting to the ball in the air. And his ability to create yardage after the catch is really good. Nick's apparently still here because he's putting chats up on the screen. Oh, there he is.
I'm here, friend.
It's what the fuck was that? I didn't know where he went, and then all of a sudden the comment popped up on there. Oh, good, all right. But he's if he ends up being successful, he's an outlier. I get it, but he's creative after the catch. He climbs the lat for a dude that's 5'8". He can get up there. He can get up there and make some really nice catches. And there's a throw where he broke 2 tackles running through guys and then ran into the end zone in practice. I think it was Friday or something when he did that one. I get it. He played at South Carolina in the SEC 1 year. The only 1 year he was at a high level of competition, he didn't produce. I get that. I get he's 5'8". I get he's 175. But he's quick. He's explosive. He's creative. I kind of think that there's something there.
Showing out with Joe Flacco, man.
Yeah, Joe Flacco and him have got this. They seem to got a connection that's brewing.
Well, I'll tell you where I did go was to grab one of these here, brewed in honor of the Iron Man, Joe Thomas. We are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. Football is here.
Sorry, Chef just called Daryl Ryder a boob.
A boob. We love it. We love it. Now, I will say, it's interesting because he has been so forward about how he feels Shador is just light years better than Gabriel, and I think I think that's really interesting. It's a way of reporting that I don't think we are seeing from a lot of the other
You
people
mean he's been an incredibly unprofessional weenie?
Well, some of it. He might have said Dylan should be behind the water boy.
He said he's not any better than the ball boys, and every time I see this kid play, I think, what are we doing?
That feels a little aggressive in the first couple weeks of camp, in my opinion. But
and to outright,
I'm sure a fan.
To outright compare what Gabriel's doing to Shedeur when Gabriel's going against the first and second team and Shedeur is primarily against the third is ignorant. Here's what I will say, because I knew we were going to get on this topic a little. The last 2 days have been rough for Dylan Gabriel. They absolutely have. Friday especially, it was rough. It was very rough. Like, he had a really bad day. That's factual. 100% factual.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think he was better. Started kind of bad. He was better than he had been the day before. No, right. Daryl was not the only one honest about how Watson looked last preseason. There was other people. But it's also, for me, the issues with Daryl is the way he goes about it. The way,
it's like the way, okay, so, and this is coming from somebody that fully believes that Shedeur is the better rookie, but it's like the way that Tony Grossi called Baker Mayfield a midget, like right out of the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't. Yeah. It's not fair, right? And so even as someone that believes that Gabriel is not as good, I don't feel like that's fair. It just doesn't seem the right way to go about it, in my opinion.
It's common though, because when people prop someone up, an easy way to do it is to slander the other person. It isn't just good enough that Shedeur looks good, but this guy also has to be terrible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of, it is what it is. He's getting looks against a tougher defense. When he goes against the threes, he looks really good. You know, and it's also a different style. And this is something that we do need to talk about, X's and O's on the field. Every time I see a clip, I've only seen probably about 5 clips where he's actually thrown from within the pocket. They keep pulling the pocket with Gabriel, whether they're shifting or if he's a bootleg, but they're moving the pocket. He's, you know what I mean, which I get. I mean, he's shorter, but that won't play for long if you can't learn to do it from within the pocket, because then defensive coordinators will just cut half the field off. They'll get a feel for where you're rolling out and then just cut half the field off. So that's something that we have to be conscious of as he progresses forward.
Yeah, no, and I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and act like the last 2 days for him were not good, because they weren't.
Yeah.
Like they weren't, but everybody also acts like he's had very good moments. I mean, he's had some really nice throws and some nice days out there. But what I didn't expect him is the way he looks uncomfortable and unrattled. Like, he's not processing at the speed at which I thought he would. So, yeah, there's some things that I think he's really good at that he has struggled at the last couple of days. And so I absolutely 100% agree. He's not ready. He's definitely not ready to play a regular season game. It's also August 3rd. We'll see what happens through the rest of the preseason and all that other stuff. It's the same with Shedeur. I don't think Shedeur's ready, but he might be next month. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that happens between now and then. And I think both of the rookies are primarily going to be the guys playing the preseason. I'm not sure you shouldn't see Joe Flacco at all. Maybe you see Kenny Pickett, maybe. But what I really like is that you're probably going to get both of these rookies out there. Yeah, no, I do think so. I want to see the rookie. I'm with you, Havoc. I want to see him too. Start the season with Flacco, because I think it's very clear the more we get deeper and deeper that Flacco's head and shoulders above everybody else in that room right now. From what I have seen, people I've talked to that have been there and in the building, like when he's running the offense, when Flacco runs the offense, it actually looks like an NFL offense. Like it looks like an NFL offense, and the rookies both of them aren't there yet. But I do think Shedeur has had some really, really nice moments. I think Dylan's had some good moments. And I'm very I hate that he had the arm soreness. Hopefully that's a thing, like with a rest day and stuff like that, like because it was self-reported. So I hope it takes a little bit of. I hope he's good to go this week, especially for the joint practice and especially for the preseason game on Friday, because I want both of those rookies to really get a chance to. Because like in practice, you're doing a bunch of different things. You're doing 2-minute drills, like everything is so situationally based in a way that an actual game isn't when you're in practice. Like you're just all over the place practicing a bunch of different scenarios where you get into a game and it's an actual game feel and rhythm and all those things like that. And I want to see those guys in those settings. So even though Gabriel had 2 rough days, I think he's progressed a little bit. And I think I've been impressed with Shedeur. There are still times he's holding onto the ball way too long. But like that's something he did for a bunch of years and it's going to take him a little bit of time. But to me, what I've seen from Shedeur is some of those weaknesses. I've already seen him improve on it a little bit. But so I think both rookies still need time, but I do think they're progressing.
I just, you know what? I could blow a whole bunch of wind at you about this quarterback and that quarterback and whatever. But ultimately, I think the thing that's most exciting is that I agree. I totally agree with you, Jacob, that the rookies are going to get the most time in preseason. We're going to get a ton of a sample of what they can do. And we're just going to let the tape decide, man. You know, like obviously I'm biased, whatever. Let the quarterback competition decide. Then let's see what that bears out. Because if Gabriel is really that dude, you know, you have to be a special player to be his height and be successful in the NFL, but it's not like it hasn't happened. So if it's him, then so be it. Let the competition decide. And that's really why I'm so excited about Browns preseason is because there is like in a period of mostly meaningless football for the Browns, it is highly meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
The way that the schedule shifted, like so now you're starting with the Panthers. And this is no disrespect to my people here in Panthers country. That joint practice it's one day, whatever. The next week you go to Philly. That's real. Yeah. Those joint practices, it's 2 of them back to back. You already know. So they kind of get a little bit of a primer before they go. So it'll be like in stages, you know. So I think that'll be good for them.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to give Shedeur a shout out for? You gave him a shout out on All Eyes on Cleveland for this. Mm-hmm. He told his dad to stay away, and it's not just that like me Dion hating, but it's why he told him to stay away. He said exactly what I wanted to hear. He said, "I'm not where I want to be right now, so I don't want you here. I got work to do. Which is what he's done. We've heard from insiders, our good friend Lane Adkins. If you want to know the latest, go over to the OBR, get a subscription. He's been working his tail off. And when that month he was gone studying the playbook, that month that in between mini camp and training camp, the team was impressed with what he did. So he's getting there, man. Sorry. And Chef Brian and MC are feuding in the chat, and MC said he's unsubscribing. Oh
we
God!
Got a bunch of takes in the old chat right here. We got this, we got that, we got
someone who doesn't know how many games are in the season.
There's a lot in here.
Right? You're gonna 0-17 them. 0-17 them. Do the full bit.
There's lean into it.
Oh,
I would say that I would say it's not fair to ever call anybody in the NFL say there's a 0% chance that someone could be a starting quarterback in the NFL if they make it to the NFL, because we've seen some wild ass things. Brock Purdy's got a massive contract.
Yeah, he sure does.
Although I think he's one of the best processors in the game, but you know. I know you guys are, Chef. I know you guys are just screwing around.
I just want to throw this out there because I know Connie profited off of our predictions before. This is just my own. I don't know if these guys agree or not. I bet the Saints plus 800 to have the fewest wins in the NFL. That's where I'm at. I'm
Are
not.
we gonna do
You're
the
not
thing?
convincing me that Tyler Shuck is going to be better than what the Browns have going.
Do you
You're
want
not
me to
gonna
tell you something that's going to like really make you laugh?
Okay.
Trey Lance is younger than Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Trey Lance has been in the NFL. What? This is like year 4 or 5? 5?
I think 4.
It's been a while, man. Because
He had at least 2 years in San Fran, then a year in Dallas, and now he's in LA. So it's at least 4.
Right.
Yeah, he was in Fields' class, right?
Well, he was in the same class as Trey Lance, right?
Yes, Trey Lance was in the same class as Trey Lance. Yes.
Oh, sorry, Brock Purdy.
Were they in the same? No.
Yeah.
They didn't. No, San Fran didn't draft Trey Lance and Brock Purdy in the same year.
I think they did.
Mm-mm. They
Hold
didn't.
on. Okay, I might be wrong. I could be wrong.
I love MC. We were buddies, Chef. He says.
I'm telling you right now, MC's Baker bulletin
you don't
comes
screw with
across.
that,
He
man.
ain't missing it.
No, man. You want to
The
get
Baker
yourself
beacon
on.
went off. MC to the
wanna-
rescue.
You want to get on MC's list? You do some. You throw
6
some
years
Baker
ago
Mayfield.
today, he shotgunned the beer.
I know. And was there ever a better vibes video ever in the summer?
Never, dude.
Like,
never. I could've ran
he
through a
had the
fucking wall.
Lindor jersey on. He bit into it, and you were just like, sure, Dell. It was 2019. Yeah, we
You're
didn't know the train wreck.
You're right, by the way. Lance was drafted in 2021. Purdy was drafted in 2022.
So this is his 5th year. So this is Trey Lance's 5th year in the NFL, and he's younger than Tyler Shuck.
That's
And I know Trey Lance came into the league super young.
and you know what? Just I know this isn't a betting show, but Shuck's been hurt a million times. What? Who? Desmond? No. Spencer
Desmond
Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
Rattler is behind Tyler
And
Shuck.
Jake
Right?
Hayner? I think Jake Hayner's there.
I think they just released Hayner. Or no.
Did they release him?
He was on a potential cut list. That's what it was.
Saints most losses in the NFL. You heard it here first.
George Mallory, I'm so sorry. Your comments for some reason are coming in as 2:17 a.m. So they're going at the top, and I'm just now seeing all of your comments. So I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to ignore you. But for some reason, they're coming in really, really weird.
What is that?
I'm just now seeing these at the top. So I apologize. We were not trying to ignore these comments. They were just coming in like that. He said, in the guy that said 0-16, George Mallory says, we don't count the London game. Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. I like that. Who's starting Friday? I would, if I was guessing, it would be Dylan Gabriel. I would say Dylan Gabriel probably gets the first look.
Agreed.
He asked me if Tillman makes the roster. Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Okay. I think we're caught up on those comments. All right. Let's go back.
I'll scroll up and down, so we'll keep track.
Yeah, we'll try to do that. There's one thing I want to ask you guys about and see if your opinion agrees with me, because this question came up in the OBR's Ask the Insider forums, and I was answering them. I was answering it, and I thought it was very interesting. Some people have talked about some offensive line struggles so far in camp, and they're like, do you think it's just our defensive line's really good, or do you have concerns about the offensive line? And I'm like, I think it's that our defensive line is really good. So my thing is, going into this week, going against Carolina, whose defensive line is not as talented, at least on paper, as the Browns, because the Browns' defensive line, I'm sorry, Justin, if you didn't see, I do believe that Dylan Gabriel will probably start Friday.
Agreed.
Probably. You never know what happens.
Sorry.
You never know what happens. But I think that on paper, the Browns' defensive line and what I've seen in camp, they're fast and nasty and all this stuff. I'm very interested to see what the offensive line looks like in this joint practice Wednesday, because if it looks the same, then I'm concerned. But if it looks better, then I think I tend to lean that way. I think overall the offensive line has looked better this year in camp so far. I think I've seen some things I like more. And I'm very confident based on everything I've heard from insiders and from people there in the players that they're better coached. I think Mike Bloomgren I think players respect and respond to him far better than they responded to Dickerson last year. But where do you guys sit on the offensive line? Are you kind of where I am? You're like, yeah, it looks a little bit better, but they're kind of going up against like an iron sharpens iron, going up against a unit where it's like, let's see what they look like this week against Carolina, and maybe we'll have a better judge.
Yeah, and nationally it's not true, but like I feel that this Browns defensive line as it's currently constructed will be a top 5 unit, closer to 1 than 5.
If it stays healthy, yes.
Yeah, that defensive line is, I mean, and we're not even seeing them with Mike Hall yet. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. But for an offensive line, and it's offensive in practice. So like, very few times they're not going to go try to climb second level and clock linebackers and run drills as an offensive lineman. Usually you just fit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like DeWand is a phenomenal athlete, great footwork, tremendous length, all those things. That's Myles Garrett, bro. Like, he's
has
going
no
to cross
shot.
you. He's going to get past your shoulder. He's going, you know, so it'll look like if you're allowed to sack, hardly anything would be getting done because that's just the way this team's built. You know what I mean?
They're nasty, dude.
So I think you're right. I think we'll find out more when we see them against the Panthers. When we hear how they look, man. When they go to Philly, though, those are real problems. Those are that line is when I say the top 5. That's the other group, one of the other groups in that mix. You know, so it's not. You know, it's. I don't call the Panthers a layup compared to what you're dealing with in practice and what you got waiting for you in Philly. So we'll find out a lot more coming out of Wednesday's joint practice.
Where I'm at is this is a veteran-laden offensive line, and I have no reason to doubt most of them. Like Jack Conklin's finally healthy. He played pretty well last year when he did have the health. Wyatt Teller, it was just a consummate professional. I know Joel was injured, so I'm a little worried about Joel, you know, being over the hill, but I'm still more inclined to trust him than not. Posick was good in Kevin Stefanski's system, not as much with
whatever the hell that was last year.
Whatever the hell that was.
The full Dorse.
Right.
Full Dorse, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, you see DeWan Jones lost the weight. That leads me to believe that things could be better there. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hi, Mitch. Mitch, I love you. And also, it looks like Conklin's healthy, so that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say about this. There was a report today that you know, because obviously Nick Chubb has been getting featured since Joe Mixon got hurt. There was a report today that Nick Chubb has lacked the burst in the second and third level of the field. Now, that's just one report. I don't know. I'm not telling you that Nick Chubb is washed up, but that's all I'm saying to you.
Do you know where Nick Chubb is right now?
Where? In Houston?
No, they're at the Greenbrier.
Are they?
They're at the Greenbrier?
Yeah, the Texans are at the Greenbrier. So Nick Chubb's at the Greenbrier for the 3rd straight year. He posted a video of it, or a photo of it, him at the Greenbrier, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Call the wide receiver room if it final. Oh God, we're gonna do this thing.
I think it's the thing. Jacob and I were actually.
Let's get the base level out. So we're calling obviously Judy,
yes,
Tillman,
yep,
and Thrash. Those are the 3 automatics. They're on the roster.
I think so. Yes.
I'm going Diontae. I think Diontae makes the team.
Okay.
Do you think Diontae makes the team?
Yeah, I think he will.
I think he will. So that
so we can agree on 4. We can agree on 4.
I'll call my shot. I'll call Gage LeVarden right now.
LeVarden.
Larvadan. I'm so sorry, Gage. I am really sorry because I'm trying so hard. I just wrote a 700 or 800 word article on LeVarden for the OBR that'll be out tomorrow. I'll call my shot there. That's 5. I'm going to call him over DeAndre Carter. I'm going to call him as the returner, gadgety slot guy. There's no one big I'm missing, is there?
Oh, dang.
I'm pulling up their roster right now so I make sure no one's going to slip through the cracks.
Great. I mean, the other one that's interesting is like Floria. Go Flashes.
If David Bell was healthy, I would say David Bell.
He just doesn't do much for me. I don't know.
It's true, though.
No, it is. It's very true.
But he's safe, and then if the coaches like him,
Sure, fine.
that might be, So I don't know much about Chase Cota.
Yeah, there's not much to know.
Caden Davis has looked good. He looked good last week. Floria's looked good. They've had that. To me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that these guys are probably more likely practice squad. Keep them around. Try to keep 2 or 3 of these guys. Develop them, and if they got return ability, I might bump them up for a game or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I did too, Jake. Jake says he truly thought David Bell was going to be like a Jarvis Landry type. I did too.
I wrote that as his player comp. I did all the comps for the draft. Pro comps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had that.
I wrote. That's what I wrote. I was like,
yeah. Because that's what he is. He was a guy that just got open and caught the football. Wasn't a crazy athlete. Wasn't like the best route runner you've ever seen. Not necessarily an elite separator, but he understood how to get open and catch the football. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I will finish up. So historically, the Browns have kept 6 wide receivers. So yeah. I'm going to call my shot for you, Connie. This is what I'm doing, and then I'll pave the way for you guys to finish your lists. So we got the first 4, right? The Tillman, Judy, Johnson, and Thrash. I'm going to say Larvadan. I'm going to say Gage Larvadan. And I'm going to say that the other guy's not currently on the roster. That's a cop-out.
I considered that option.
I know that's a cop-out, but I'm looking at this roster, and I don't really see another one.
I could put you all in the practice squad and keep you if I want to.
LeVarden is the same way. I just think they're going to keep a return kind of guy, and I think he's got some really nice upside as a pass catcher. So I'll take him at 5. You could see 2 that aren't on the roster right now make it, but that's my 6.
If I were to say it today, I would say Carter. I just know that I wish they would stop doing this, but they keep doing the thing where they go get a guy who can only do one thing, and he's a returner, but he's taking the spot of your wide receiver room and really not contributing on offense. We've seen them over the years. That's what they do, man. They love that for whatever.
They always get hurt.
As I'm saying, it's never worked. So I'd like to see them get a player who can actually contribute as a wide receiver or DB that returns something, man. Someone who actually brings more value than just 4 plays a game. They love it. So until they show me otherwise, I'll say Carter. And I don't see a 6 rosterable wide receiver
outside of David Bell getting healthy. That's
even then they cut him last year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they do.
My boy Mikey Trees ain't there. I ain't got nothing for him.
I know. I was going to bring that up. He's not there either.
They need another wide receiver with size is what they need.
They definitely do.
It's pretty much Tillman. And Judy's decent. Judy's got decent size, but that's not his calling card. No. So it's pretty much Tillman. Yeah, it's Tillman.
I just know. It's
Mikey Trees was the other guy.
But I'll say this, though, too. Harold Fannin is going to be a pseudo wide receiver for them because they're going to use a lot of 2 tight end sets where he's detached from the line.
Were you the one that said this? Maybe it was Pete Smith. Somebody was saying that like they're interested to see how much he can handle right away, like how much like they're going to give Fannin because of the way he was used in college. Luke Floria, I think he makes some practice squad.
Yeah, you can replace them with Cade McDonald or Caden Davis. They're all
There's going to be somebody that's cut, and okay, I get this, and maybe you guys are going to hate it. Maybe you'll hate it, but Amari Cooper's still a free agent, man.
If they were to do that, though, that is tipping their hand that their whole plan is for Joe Flacco to be the thing this year.
There's some chemistry there, man. You know who holds the single game receiving record in Cleveland Browns history?
I'm concerned about Flacco's ability to hold up for 17 games. But if you could tell me that you were fairly confident he could hold up for 17 games, Amari did not retire. That was a fake Adam
No.
Schefter.
Okay, fake rule, fake news.
Yeah, that was a fake one.
This is
I saw it too, though, because I fell for it. I did fall for it at first. I was like, Adam Schefter just reported that, and I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, it's a fake one." If somehow that you felt confident that Joe was going to be healthy for all of that time, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku,
Diontae Johnson.
Yeah, and then David Njoku and Harold Fannin, like that pass offense.
The most emotion you've ever seen out of Amari Cooper was when he was dumping slime on Joe Flacco's head.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the vibes of that run. Those vibes, man. We talk about the vibes of Baker Mayfield shotgunning that beer at the Guardians game. Like those Pat says he probably should after that last year. Yeah. It was a rough year for Amari. It was a rough year.
There's probably a cut down guy that like they'll be interested in. I don't know who. I don't know, but yeah, I just don't think like I get what you guys are saying. Like I'm Flash, okay? Go Flashes, Luke Floria. But I just don't think they gotta have one more guy. One more guy that's like not Luke Floria level. There's got to be somebody.
Oh,
there's got to be somebody because you can't.
For people interested, the entrance right now for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes to the main event, SummerSlam Night 2. This is going to be a hell of a match.
Well, hey, with that being said, because we do want to see us some Cody Rhodes and some John Cena. So we love you, and the fact that we've had so many views lately means a lot to us. It's not lost on us. So the fact that the most valuable thing you can give to anybody is your time, and that's his quote up there. So we're gonna get there, man, because the next time we see you, the Browns will play the game.
Yeah,
and I'm
crazy.
at work.
That's a crazy sentence right there.
I'm really mad right now because I'm finally off. I started a new job a few months ago, so I was on probation for 4 months. There's a 120-day for probation when you start the new job, and I'm off probation as of this past Tuesday. So I've had my 4 months are in, but my boss only allows a certain amount of people to be off on any calendar day, of course. And the 8th, whatever Friday is, the 8th. Is Friday the 8th?
Sure.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, there's already too many people have requested it off, so I can't get it off. I was going to take it off. So I'm more likely than not going to watch part of the game on my lunch break because I'll be able to watch part of it, but I don't go on lunch until 8:30. So, but I will have watched everything by the time we see you a week from now. I will have watched everything.
No, we know it. We know it. We know you will.
Probably twice.
It's just great to be the three of us again and like be united, build a little consistency. We're not sure exactly how we're going to do the regular season yet. That's quickly approaching. That's, basically a month from.
Ryan Ubered one of the Bella twins a couple of years ago. That's sweet. I don't remember which one was engaged to see.
That's cool. That's very cool. So thank you all of you guys for being here on Sunday night, man. And we'll keep you posted on everything. But most importantly, go Browns. And click that like and subscribe button if you like what you're seeing here, because a lot of you are here. We love that. We love you. Go Browns. This has been the final episode of the Barking Brown Show before a preseason game is played. Nick, he's Casey. That's Jacob. Go Browns.